Hello and welcome to ARK, the complete series. Today we're on Scorched Earth and me and Rainbow here, we've been out and about looking for loot drops, trying to see if there's anything better we could get ourselves, and so far not doing too bad. We've got some of this lot from, I think that was from like a red drop. I'm just getting that from a purple drop, so I particularly actually do want to use one of these because it just kind of dawned on me. I can actually make my life a whole lot easier with this stuff here, but it needs lots of water. It's a bit of a pain. I mean, I've been getting things like these water jars out of some of the loot drops, but it would be a lot easier if I actually just had a water well and then I could just put a cooking pot next to it. I think then it would go a lot faster. Let's see, I'll just refill that one back up again. I should now have, yeah, I've got 3 canteens plus 2 water jars. Because this cactus broth is really good for this environment. I mean, to be honest, I normally only just use recipes for, you know, like the end boss fights. But in this environment, even though we've improved our armor a bit, we should be able to, you know, withstand the heat a bit better. It still gets, like, really bad, to be honest. So that's when it's only dawned on me. Actually, why not start using the cactus broth? That's one of the reasons it's there for. But I just want to hit up this yellow loot drop because I'm going to cross my fingers and hope I get what I need. No, I didn't. Bar. What I've been looking for is a chainsaw. Completely forgot about those. They're introduced into Scorched Earth. And they're actually really good for, you know, for getting cactus sap in particular. I just completely forgot about them, so I actually want to make myself a chainsaw. I mean, I can either go spend time going around looking for chainsaws in the loot drops, or, which, as far as I'm aware, are pretty much just the yellow drops. But the alternative is to make one in a fabricator. But what we're going to do anyway is we're just going to head over to this little oasis here, because we're going to build a base here eventually. But I may as well put this water well down there just so we can get started, and I'll just build a sort of like a stone wall around it just to keep all the wildlife out. And then what I can do is I can put a cooking pot down here and I can make this cactus pot. Because, let's see, out of curiosity, if I just stop. How long does this stuff last for? No, that's not too bad. It's 600 seconds. I think it's about 10 minutes. So I mean, for me, pushes my hyperthermal insulation up a lot higher. So that should be quite good actually. Oh wow! Look at all these mantis. Yeah, I definitely want to build a wall around here. I think I'm gonna have to come back here again. There was one point, I think, in the previous video, I was actually playing dodge with one of those vultures. Those things are vicious. I forgot how bad they were because I must have killed something, or rather, Rainbow did. So obviously, okay, so well, I'll just finish it off. So I got her to eat the carcass. The blooming vulture came after us. It was like a level 150, and it was seriously vicious. I mean, it chased us all the way over the map. We got rid of. I mean, eventually I got rid of it. But it took away about, I mean, I lost about half my health doing that. And then, not long after, if I kill these, the vulture's going to come after them. Yeah, not long after that, another vulture turned up, and it took ages to shake this vulture off. It's really driving me up the wall. I mean, like the wyverns on this map are pretty brutal as well. They'll follow you for a long distance. But the vultures are... Oh yeah, they get really jealous if you kill their and eat their dinner. They get really annoyed. Now, as far as I'm aware, this cactus broth actually is supposed to keep most of the wildlife away from me. But oh, that wasn't the plan. I wasn't supposed to jump off. Duh. Brutal. Oh, there it is. Hopefully there's no vultures around there, otherwise they're going to get annoyed. Right, as soon as I've just destroyed that tree, I think actually I'll let it grow back first, on the off chance it does. But the plan is I want to put a well down there. I'm then just going to put a load of stone supports around, build a wall up, and then I can have my little cooking pot. Because this will be like a little oasis within the actual base itself. But it'll save me a lot of hassle for making this this broth. And then that'll help me, you know, with the water problems and the hypothermia that you get. But anyway, the main thing I want to get on with is building that that base over there. Oh, I forgot my I left my spyglass back there. I wanted to see what this thylacoleo was. I mean, I've already got one, but I wouldn't mind another one. So anyway, the plan is I want to focus on getting this base up and running. So we're going to need a lot of clay. We're going to need a lot of adobe made from that, and then it's a case of we move on to the base over there once we've got all of our crafting systems up and running. But what I'll have to get started with is a fabricator. I need to build one of those, so I'm going to have a look and see what's needed to make one. I'll make one of those, and I'll probably get myself a chainsaw as well. I'll probably end up just making one of those. We're just going to plonk ourselves down over here. I'll get rid of some of this stuff that I've got. I mean, there's quite a few things which I don't need, to be honest. Oh, there's a Thorny Dragon saddle. That's a slightly better one than I've got. Right, so I'll just dump these in here for now. Sort them out. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. That would not go in there. You get too many duplicates. I don't know why I don't know why they give you these on the other maps. They're only of use on Crystal Isle, but I got a lot of those on the island for some strange reason as well. I'll put that. Oh, 2 of those Thorny Dragon ones. Back there for now. I may as well go back to making my. Oh, where's my cooking pot? Over there. Right, so I'll put one of them in there. Yeah, and I need to use thatch for this, or maybe spark powder or something. I can't use wood. I think you end up cooking something else instead, so not really good to be using wood in here. Right, that'll keep it ticking over for a bit longer. What else do I need to dump? That. Oh wow, journeyman one. Ah, cool. In which case. There's no point you carrying that primitive one there, dude. Wow, what's a kite? Right, so yes, the plan is I want to make a fabricator, and then we can get started at least with a chainsaw. So, what do I need to build one? I said that. I won't ask the smithy. What do we need to build a fabricator? Oil. Ha ha ha. Because I'll be making some cementing paste and some spark powder in our mortar and pestle. So what we can do is we can just go over to the oil well over here that we built a while back. There should hopefully be quite a lot of oil in here. Interesting to see how much she can carry. Oh. It sounded like a Thorny Dragon around. Oh, there it is there. Yeah, I thought I heard a Thorny Dragon. Oh, wow. Actually, how much does that weigh? Right, come on. That's plenty of oil. I may as well make some gasoline, so I'll pop that into the. Ah, rats! I'll have to get some. I'll have to get some wood because I don't have much wood, and I'll need to make this up. I need to make the gasoline in the forge. Right, plunk you down there. That in there. One fabricator coming up. There we go. See if we can fit that on there. Yeah, that'll do. Right, so hopefully we've got. Ow, 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 ow! I'm setting myself on fire. That's not a good idea. Right, so we've got our cactus broth, That one in there. That's cooking as well. Right. You'll need to look after this because it'll spoil too quickly on me. Right, so... I need a lot of wood. I'm pretty sure we ran out of wood. Oh, we've got so little. Yeah, we've got very little wood. So, the plan is I'm going to take the Thorny Dragon out. We're going to head over to there. We're going to get a lot of wood. Then I can come back and I can start making some gasoline in these forges. And get on with creating our metal ingots as well while we're at it. Now, we can make that. So what does it take to make a chainsaw then? Well, that's not so bad. I mean, this is all stuff we can make, except I don't think I'll have learned electronics, have I? We got quite a lot of silica pearls while we're over at the green beacon, so I think we're okay there. Right, we need to go and take the Thorny Dragon out for a spin. See you in a while. Oh dear, it seems Spiky here has just become surplus to requirement. This chainsaw is just crazy. I mean, see how much wood you get. So you got about 209. What's up with you and the creeping around? Right, so you got about 200 and... I think you got 209. Hey, come here. Come here, you dopey bird. Stop trying to sneak off. Well, just leave her there. So, she got 209. Now, I'm going to get the chainsaw out. Now, to be fair, it really cuts through gasoline, but... yeah. So that's 433 so far. There's another 400 plus. It's just nuts. It is just nuts. Oh, I better be careful. I don't want to chop rainbow up there. Right. So, out of curiosity, how much did we get in total? 987. Oh, it's true. Oh, wow, you're really struggling. I'm gonna have to leave poor Spiky down there on our own. We'll have to drop some of this wood off, but it's just crazy. I mean, to be fair, I've got the rates turned up on this server, so they affect my character. They don't affect the dinos. I mean, obviously, it's for me to be able to get resources quicker because I'm not in a tribe or anything. So it just saves me time having the rates turned up. I can't remember what they are, maybe like 2-3 times now. Spiky there, she can get more wood from a tree than I could from, say, like a pickaxe or something, or a hatchet rather. But yeah, compared to a chainsaw, it's like it's not even close. And it gets crazy when we start to use go for the cactus sap. Right, well, just you can pick up some of this wood, and then we can be a bit quicker in getting to and fro. You grab that. See if that's of any help. Right, I'll take this back, and then I'll show you what it's like when we use it against the cactus trees. Crazy. Right, I'm going to have to be careful out here because I mean, I've just taken out a Daedon. I've been up against micro raptors and all sorts. But just to give you a comparison, I mean, these cactus plants here, they're much better than the little ones over there. So we should be able to get quite a bit of cactus sap out of these ones. So this is using a hatchet. We got 57 there. Right, now for the chainsaw. There's no comparison. Literally no comparison. I know there's a microraptor over there, so as I say, I'm being a bit careful. I mean, you can get cactus sap out of these, but they'll give you, I think you get wood and all sorts as well. Not as good as like the actual cactus plants. So anyway, yeah. So these are better because you just get the cactus sap and the thatch. But it's just nuts. You get tons of this stuff. Absolutely tons of it. Man, I wish I'd remember that. Anyway, I've started building over in that oasis place because the plan was to build some stone walls around that so I can fence it off and then I'll be able to make this cactus broth a lot easier. Trouble is, it's a lot bigger than I thought. I'm going through tons and tons of pillars. Boy, that's going to take a really long time. Oh, it's here in a really long time. Well, I think I said it was going to be a long time before I'd be back. It's actually been a very, very long time. But the good news is, we're now done. We've got our base built. I'm ready to move on. So, time to show you what we've been up to. We started off with some foundations, thatch foundations, vanilla versions. And we built a wall up to there so we could get a flat platform that we could build our base on. Trouble was, I was using vanilla structures to begin with. I like to do that with a new map, just on the off chance. I mean, you never know. Wildcard might come around to the idea of giving us actual decent structures to build with. But alas no, because as I found straight away, I couldn't get, like the foundations, for instance, to snap to the ceilings. Now the S Plus versions did, so it's a case of, right, forget it, vanilla out, S Plus in, and that's what we did. So all of the structures that you see are the S Plus versions. So replaced all that thatch with adobe, got some ramps here, foundations and so on. So once we got that done, I mean I did a bit of extension work around the side and around here, right out to there. So we've got a wind turbine up there, we've got an electrical cable running all the way up there, so that we can power everything up on top. Now I did actually try to put a vanilla actual elevator platform in, but it gave me too many problems. So I'll show you a couple of things really. Now if I jump onto this S Plus elevator, I mean I've got various options. I can use E to elevate, or I can press the numeric keypad. So for me there's only two stops, there's the top and the bottom. So, you know, 9 takes me to the top, 0 takes me to the bottom. If you look at this S Plus version, apart from all the weird juddering while I'm actually on this thing, this nicely lines up. The track is just high enough so it lines up with the fittings for the elevator platform. With the vanilla version, it seems to come up much higher, and it means that the actual platform itself doesn't line up with the ceiling. So that was the first thing that put me off. Now, there is a slight annoyance with the S Plus version, because obviously as soon as I saw that, that was like, ooh, alarm bells, we've got to get rid of it, we've got to go to S Plus. Now, I pressed the E button to tell us, well, tell the elevator to bring us down to the ground. And it's actually come to a halt, which is good. Problem with the vanilla version was it would have kept going and it would have stopped below the actual foundations. I would have then had to pick the foundations up to then get access to this elevator to be able to control it again. So that was a real pain in the butt. So yeah, vanilla out, S Plus in. The only drawback with the S Plus version I've found specifically is this. I pressed E to delevate, in other words to go down, and I've got a stop option now. Now technically, as far as I was aware, we have stopped, we've come to a halt. But the elevator's saying, nope, you need to stop it before you can do anything else. Now I've got call pads, one at the top, one at the bottom. That allows me to call the elevator to wherever that call pad is, whatever level it's at. But the trouble is, as long as this elevator's saying stop, that call pad up there, for instance, doesn't work. So I've got to tell it to stop. Now it's working. You can hear it click into place, the locks have probably kicked in. But there is a way around that, it's just a minor annoyance. So I've taken the elevator up slightly. If I press 0, I don't get that problem. It goes to the bottom, it locks itself into place, and we're finished. So, yeah, that makes sense, I suppose. I mean, technically I need to go to a specific stop. So for me, it's just a case of using the 0 and the 9 to actually stop on. See, I'm running out of water, so I better get some of that cactus brew. Now, although I've got these actual pads here to actually call the elevator, there is one slight problem, and that is I can't repeat it. I've really struggled. I've tried a few times, but at some point I called the elevator down, and it actually ended up going below the floor. Even though it's an S+1, it ended up below the foundations, and I had to dig it out. So I'm just leaving these as like cosmetic things. To be honest, it's too much of a hassle having to pick the foundations up. The other thing is, and I don't know why, this was originally an adobe pillar. The trouble is, it was glitching through the pad. So I replaced it with a stone one, and sure enough, it does look a lot better. I don't get that glitching. I don't know why, but oddly enough, on the one up here, that doesn't look too bad on the adobe. You might be able to see a bit of the adobe sticking through just above the green pad and button that's in the bottom right corner of the keypad. This thing, there's a little fleck you might see on the display, but it's not that bad. If I put a stone pillar here instead, it looks terrible. So yeah, stone down there, adobe up here. So yeah, I mean, I think my eye's twitching a bit because of the OCD in me, but it is what it is. Now, another slight problem I ran into was I went to all this trouble. I mean, I'd built everything, literally everything, and I remembered something. Oh yes, I need to finish this platform off. I extended it all the way out to here. I put a couple of ceilings in because I couldn't get the foundations to finish it off. And the plan was I would put ramps down there going to the floor, so that way I could get a dino from up there, ride the elevator down, go out, gather whatever resources we need, and we'd ride it back, take the elevator up, job done. It was at that point it suddenly dawned on me, I honestly don't know why it took me that long, to realise I don't need the elevator. It's pointless. So this thing is now, it's just a cosmetic reminder of what life used to be for me on Scorched Earth. It's a long time since I've been on here, but I haven't bothered with the ramps. There's just no point. I'm going to leave it there. I mean, it took a heck of a lot of resources. It took a lot of effort to get the vanilla version of the elevator in place, then swap it over to S+. But I think I'm just going to leave it there just as a little reminder, because I don't know why the penny didn't drop, why the light bulb didn't come on until that late, but Dipsy here, outdoor Dickerus, I literally just pick her up with the RG here, we fly out over to the rock outcropping, I just dangle her over the rock, we don't put her down, we don't put her on wandering or anything, we harvest the rock, we get our sand, we get our stone, and we fly back. Don't need an elevator for that. Okay, next. Spiky the Thorny Dragon. Spiky the Thorny Dragon, well, she's in a cryo fridge. She has been superseded by man's ingenuity of a chainsaw. Now, if I was on this map and working from like scratch with a new character, I would have been like level 55, I think it is, before I could use a chainsaw. So yeah, don't need an elevator for that. You just fly out there, chop some trees down with our chainsaw and fly back. I mean, she's got a reduced carrying weight for wood. Not much point really. Not much point having a Thorny Dragon, let alone an elevator. So yeah. And that brings us to, last but not least, Arthur the Anglo. Now I've spent all this time now, by this time, picking him up with the Argentavis, taking him to some rocks. I'll jump off the RG, we'll mine the rocks, and I'll ride him, then I'll pick him up with the RG, and we'll fly back here. Didn't have to do that with an elevator. It's like, why didn't I realise that before? All that time spent. No. But anyway, I suspect I've got this nagging feeling. I think the reason I did that in the first place was, I was starting from scratch back then, so I didn't have luxuries of things like chainsaws for one thing. Another one is I didn't know you could pick that Dodicarus up and just hover it over a rock. Definitely back then. I don't think I got to. I think it was when I got to Extinction when someone had mentioned how you could do that. I was like, ah, right. Because before I was just going out there, I was, rolling around with that Dodicarus and mining things, and then we'd be waddling all the way back. Yeah. Now, another reason is the RG. I don't think the RG could actually pick up an ankle at the time. I mean, this is before the TLC that the RGs went through, which gave them things like reduced carrying capacity. I have a sneaking suspicion that if you wanted an RG, you had to pick it up with a Quetzal, or in this map, a Wyvern. You don't have Quetzals on this map. You've got the Wyvern in place of that for heavy loads. So I'd have been at a point like now where I haven't tamed any Wyverns, so pretty much my only option would be to, just waddle around with the RG, with the Ankylor rather. If we ran out of resources, we'd go all the way around up to the top shelf, and then we'd jump off, and then I'd jump off before we hit the ground, so that neither of us got damaged. And that was it. So there was a genuine reason for having that elevator, but now it's totally pointless. I mean, even more so because you've got cryopods and she's got reduced carrying capacity. I mean, when I go out to get crystal, for instance, I'm flying right into the middle of the map. Arthur's in a cryopod. I'll pop him out of the cryopod. She gets a reduced carrying capacity for crystal, so I put it on her. I'll then pop him into a cryopod and we'll come back. So it's like, yeah. It's a reminder of days of old, I think. But anyway. So over here we've got a cryophyge. That's going to be for keeping all of our, any dinos we get, to be honest, assuming we get any more at this rate. I've got a couple of storage boxes. They're the S Plus version, so they've got 90 capacity instead of 45. I keep all sorts of things in here, like, tools, utilities, any weapons, ammo, armor, and that sort of stuff. In here, I'm keeping just any excess structures that I'm going to keep a hold of for building another base and so on. And then we've got this gateway. I mean, it doesn't. And my eyes start to twitch a bit here because this doesn't line up with the middle. The trouble is the gateway, it snaps to the sides of the foundations. So it's straddling two foundations, but it means that the gateway itself is going, or at least the middle of it's going right through the middle of two foundations, so it doesn't line up with the middle of this building. And that does annoy me, I must admit. The only way I can see to fix it is to probably extend this one wall out. To be honest, I don't think it's worth it just for that. I mean, the place is big enough as it is. I don't need more space. I don't think it's... No matter how much it annoys me, I'm not going to bother, to be honest. I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, inside we've got all of this storage. So this is all S Plus crafting stations. So you've got 300 slots, so I get tons of storage space. I'm not keeping anything in particular in each one. There's no order to it. I just dump stuff in as and when. Because with S Plus, if I want something, I just pull it. Don't matter where it's stored, I'll just pull it from there. I can pull it to me, I can pull it into the storage, I can pull it to a dinosaur, any of these crafting appliances, doesn't matter. So yeah, I'll just use those because I get more capacity. I mean, I don't have any tech facilities because to be able to do that I'll need element. To get element I've got to defeat the Manticore, and when we defeat the Manticore I'm out of here, we're on to Aberration. So there's no point in thinking ahead that far. So these will do, yeah, perfectly fine. So over on this side is where we're keeping our dinosaurs, our utility ones, well obviously except for Spiky. Up there I've put in an extra floor so I can have my beds, and over on this side I'll be putting in some pedestals for the artifacts when we get those from the caves. I think there's only 3 you need for the map. And then all around here we've got all of our S Plus stuff. Fridges, we've got a fabricator, chemistry bench, grinder, smithy, and a blueprint. I mean, blueprints just nuts. 600 slots for blueprints, and to be honest, most of these blueprints are no longer any use to me now that I'm not using the vanilla stuff. There's no point keeping most of these, to be honest. I only really need things like armor, saddles, weapons, to be honest. So, anywho. So basically, everything what I was doing when I started off, I had a vanilla fabricator, I had a vanilla chemistry bench, and that was all outside. Because the plan was basically I wanted to do some testing to find out like wear and tear, because I know that exists on Scorched Earth. Things fall apart and break down over time. But as I found out, this power generator, which is the vanilla version, it breaks down, but only as long as you're running it. The oil well that I've got out there, it's a vanilla one, and that breaks down while it's being used. So it's a case of, yeah, it's a bit of a pain, and that's the reason why there's an incentive to use the wind turbines. They introduced wind turbines into Scorched Earth, they introduced the wind effect into Scorched Earth, so there is an incentive to get you onto the wind turbines, because this thing's going to break down. If you don't look after this, it'll break down and it'll fall apart. And I know that for certain because this is generator number 2. If I let that run right the way down to 0, it'll then just break and fall apart. Not literally when it hits 0, but a short time after. All that's going to be left is just your bag with whatever gasoline's still left. And if you don't pick that up in time, obviously that'll despawn. And obviously if you're then running a fridge through this electrical generation, everything in there is going to start to rot, and it'll rot pretty quickly, because that's what happens on Scorched Earth. It's a great place for getting spoiled meat, but it sucks for cooked meat, for vegetables and so on. So you really, really need a refrigerator. I mean, you know, the salt will help you, but you really need a refrigerator. It still spoils pretty quickly, but it's yeah, it's a case of a generator is not practical for keeping an electrical generator. An electrical generator is not really like this one is power generator. It's not really good long term for keeping a fridge up. You're better off getting a turbine. And the trouble is, in the middle of the map where you've got all those little pools of water, where incidentally I found out if you go out at night where that riverbed runs, lying on the surface of the riverbed itself, not in the pools but on the actual surface of the riverbed, you'll find silica pearls. They're much easier to spot at night. You do need a lot of like silica pearls to make electronics. You can go and harvest tech rexes if you can find them, tech parasaurs for instance. They'll save you a bit of hassle of making the electronics, but it's so easy to get silica pearls I just don't bother. But anyway, getting back to this. So yeah, this thing will break down, this one won't. The good thing I found is I can fix this where it is. I can't pick things up if they're broken, because it's something that was introduced in the game. I mean, this piece of thatch floor, I can pick it up. I've got the setting on the server that allows me to pick things up at any time. Normally you've got like 30 seconds to pick something up if it's vanilla. If it's broken, no, you still can't pick it up. You've got to fix it. And I must admit, I was a bit concerned, thinking, well, if this gets damaged, I can't pick it up, and sure enough I can't. There's not an option. So how on earth do I repair it? It was made in a smithy. Surely I've got to take it back to a smithy to repair it. But fortunately, all you need is the materials. It will let you repair it where it is, as long as you've got the materials. And if it's turned off, it doesn't take damage. So yeah, that's something I'm thinking about. And it really got me thinking that, to be honest, there's no real point for base 2 out there. Because that was the original plan. This was going to be base 1, where we craft weapons, armor and so on. That was going to be base number 2. So roughly where, just between Squeaky's ears, you can see some trees out there. And plan was, that's got water, it's got 100% wind. It's going to be ideal. Absolutely perfect. It's exactly what I need. In the centre, on the other hand, lots of water, very little wind, and the generator's going to fall apart. So it would be better to go out there, you know, cook everything, store everything. But the trouble is, I've changed my mind. No, I'm not going to build out there. So I did go to all the trouble of like putting all of the fence posts in, putting a gate up and a load of walls. I got about 2/3 of the way. Then I kind of came to the conclusion that after my testing with that generator, there's no real gain in me building a base out there. And then I had another light bulb moment. Well, to be honest, if I want to do things like kibble, I need all the different dino types to make that kibble. why not just go back to the island and make it? So I went back to the island, and quelle surprise, here's a load of kibble that I made over on the island. So that saves me going out to get any dinos. I don't have to tame anything up. I don't have to cook anything over here. I can just go over to the island and get that kibble. Well, make the kibble and bring it back here. So I just upload it to the actual beacon, put myself back over onto Scorched Earth and download it again. It is a bit of a hassle, I must admit. I mean, in particular because when I actually went back for a first time, for some strange reason the game didn't recognise this Biff as being the Biff who was on the island. I mean, this is the Biff who, you know, defeated the bosses, defeated the Alpha Overseer, and then came across to Scorched Earth. But as far as that server was concerned, no, you're an imposter. You're not the real Biff. So fortunately, I could literally take ownership of the tribe while I was there, got everything back, then everything was all hunky-dory. Incidentally, because the server was turned off the minute I uploaded, I managed to get my ghillie armor back. So this is all the original Ascendant gear I was using on the island, which is good because it gives me seriously cool hyperthermal insulation. It's 933 if I'm outside. It's only better because at the moment we're inside of the house. So that was good. So yeah, I think that's going to make my life a lot easier doing that. But I think I'm still going to go and build a base in the centre area. I'm going to focus on constant supply of water and a temporary supply of electricity. So anything I make, I'll either go and get it from the island and bring it back here, or what I'll do is I'll have this base in the centre somewhere. I'll turn the electrical generator on when I need to. We'll power up the cooking, the industrial cooker to make whatever it is I'm going to make. I mean, the only thing I'm thinking of at the moment is probably something like cactus sap. Well, the cactus broth, I should say. And then what I can then do is just basically turn the electrical generator off when I'm finished. So I can repair it in situ. I don't have to worry about a wind turbine or anything. It's not going to stay on permanent. Anything I make... Oh, hang on a minute. Sandstorm. I should have paid more attention to what Squeaky was saying. There we go. That'll be better. Let me just double check. That is a sandstorm, right? Yep, that's a sandstorm. Woo! Okay, that's better. So, yeah, I think my life's going to be a lot better just by doing that. If I need the, you know, things like kibble, I'll go and get it from the island. If I need something like cactus sap, cooked meat, or what have you, I'll just cook it, power the generator up briefly, make what I need, but I'll bring it back for storage here. So I've got a constant supply of electricity here, as long as you don't get hit by an electrical storm. Solid, really. That's cool. That reminds me. I almost forgot. I was wondering, well, I keep saying I was wandering around. I forgot about this this little girl here. I was wandering up and down past the base for days, and I'm talking game player days, not like game days, game player days. So yeah, that's how long it's taken me to get all this lot done. And I saw her colours, and I was kind of reluctant because there wasn't any plans for me to do any thylacoleo breeding. I wasn't going to come here and get more thylacoleos and breed them. As far as I was concerned, I was just going to have Toby, and I was just going to take him all the way to extinction, assuming, of course, he survived that one. But then I saw her. To me, she is just cool. So she's got... You probably can't see this very well. See if I can get a torch. Can I make torches? I can make a standing torch. I can make a wall torch. What happened to torches? I'm sure I could make a torch that I could carry. For some strange reason, I'm not seeing one. No, let's see what I can make. There. Alright, so you must automatically know that one. Yeah. It's because of this sandstorm. Even though the doors are closed, even though the windows are closed, you still get, like, sand getting in the way. Hopefully you can see her now better. So she's like a mixture of red. She's got a red top, red paws, red down the back of the tail. Her underbelly's gold yellow. She's got this. I don't know. That's like it's a light shade of blue tail or something. I don't know. But it's it got me thinking. I could really do with a thylacoleo with those colours. And then actually, when I put her next to Toby here, he's green. He's got green paws and a green top. I don't know whether they are permanent, whether the top and the bottom are always the same. Because if not, what it means, I could actually have a polyparrot thylacoleo. Because polyparrot was red, green, and blue, and yellow. If I could do that with a thylacoleo, that would be absolutely cool. But we'll have to see. I mean, it's going to take me ages to breed them because, I mean, she was only level 5. She's level 7 now. His base level is 219. So it's going to. I'm going to have to go through a ton of females that have got her colours, or at least some of the green from him if I can, just to be able to keep the colours and to be able to then get to the stats he's got. So yeah, it's gonna take forever, I think, to do it, but I think it's gonna be worthwhile. But that's not for this episode, nor is the second base. That is for another video. So that is it for this episode. I do hope you've enjoyed watching it. If so, then do please leave a like, because that will help me out a great deal. For whatever reason, YouTube seems to think if a video's got likes, then other people might like to see it, so they send it out to more people, and if it gets more likes, they'll send it out to even more people. It's kind of a bit of a vicious circle, a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will, for whatever reason. But anyway, if you're new to the channel and you'd like to see more content like this, then yes, do please subscribe. Just remember to click the little bell icon though, and then you get notifications when I send new content out. And if you've got any comments, if you've got any suggestions, if you want to leave any feedback at all, please pop that into the comments section below. Until the next episode, thanks very much for watching. Bye!